Fight Night on DAZN, brought to you by that prize guy.
If you had the choice, what prize would change your life?
Yes!
Woohoo!
The competition's from as little as 5p per entry. What are you waiting for? You could be next to change your life with that prize guy.
What's he got saying? Turn around. Or join them.
One time, stray dog.
You've got the instinct. Now, get the training.
Introducing the casino you love to hate, Mr. Q.
The following programme is recommended for those 16 and over, as it contains sporting violence, possible bad language, and flashing imagery.
Well, a very good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Fight Week. The sun is shining here in the heart of London's East End, outside the famous spiritual home of British boxing, York Hall. Great fight to look forward to from the Copper Box tomorrow night live on DAZN. Of course, headline, George Liddard defends his British and Commonwealth middleweight titles against Tyler Denny, the first defence for the Billericay Bomber. 8 fights to make official, though. It's weigh-in time here on DAZN.
I'm a man on a mission and I will not let anyone stop me from getting what I'm going to get. I will not be denied.
George Liddard is the British and Commonwealth champion. Oh, baby!
There is not a man alive sitting opposite me that I don't believe that I can be. You know, I'm not here to play about. I'm here to step up. You know, as a former European champion.
Blistering combination from Giorgio Visioli.
Oh, big right. Overhand right. Jimmy Sains, the English and Commonwealth silver champion.
That's a lovely left hook from Denny Buttigieg. Oh! Looking menacing.
Mentally, I'm unbreakable. Physically, I'm unbreakable. I'm going to get the job done by any means, but I want to do it in style. I genuinely struggle to see anyone at 160 surviving 12 rounds with me.
Just bring my belts, man. Bring my belts.
It's a scary place to be, sitting opposite me. I can promise you that.
And just like magic, we are now inside the wonderful York Hall. Jamie Ward here to bring you all the action from today's weigh-in. No David Diamante today, so unfortunately at home you are stuck with me for the duration of the programme. But let's press on with the weigh-in then. As I said, 8 fights to make official. Our first contest, 4 rounds in the super featherweight division. Firstly to the stage, fighting out of Albury, West Midlands. Please welcome Jarfius Foray. And his opponent across the stage, making his highly anticipated professional debut, 3 times national champion from Faden Boys in Essex. Please welcome Louis Ward. Fighters to the scales. 131.84 for a 132.9 for Louis Ward, professional debut tomorrow night. Fighters face off. Here we go then, opening the action tomorrow night from 5 p.m. Louis Ward, a 3-time national champion, a Haringey Box Cup winner as well. The leap of faith into the professional circuit, the debut tomorrow night, trained by John Ryder out of the Matchroom Gym in Brentwood. 4 rounds to kick things off tomorrow. Matchroom and DAZN YouTube channels. We continue the weigh-in then this afternoon. 8 rounds in the super middleweight division. Firstly, please, from Sacanto, Cordoba, Argentina. 15 wins against 10 defeats, with 10 wins coming by way of knockout. Please welcome Martin Palacio. And his opponent across the stage, a Commonwealth Games silver medalist from Southampton with a perfect record thus far. 7 fights, 7 wins, all 7 coming by way of knockout. Please welcome Taylor Bevan. Fighters to the scales. $170 bang on for Palacio, 170 bang on, and 169.6 for Taylor Bevan. Fighters face off. Professional contest number 8 then for Taylor Bevan. Not started badly, has he? 7-0 with 7 stoppage wins. Martin Palacio stopped just 4 times in those 10 defeats to familiar names, including Kevin Saggio and Michael Heffron as well. Bevan wants to fight in Southampton. Spoke about that yesterday and wants 10-rounders and title fights later this year. Business to take care of first, though, for the 25-year-old. Fight number 2 on the prelims tomorrow night from the Copper Box. And the weigh-in continues here in East London. 6 rounds in the featherweight division. Firstly to the stage from Zara, Malta, with a record of 8 wins against 3 defeats, 4 wins by knockout. Please welcome Leiden Kierkegaard. And his opponent across the stage with a perfect professional record thus far. 4 fights, 4 wins, all 4 coming by way of knockout. From Brighton, please welcome Adam Macca. Fighters to the scales. $127.2 for Kirkop, 129.7 for Adam Macca. Fighters face off. Fight number 5 then for 18-year-old Adam Macca, first scheduled 6-rounder. And certainly the toughest test on paper so far. Leiden Kirkop 8-3, been in there with the likes of Akib Fiaz and former world title challenger Josh Padley as well. Macca says the extra time will just help him to show a bit more of that boxing ability, which he feels he hasn't had to show us just yet. 6 rounds tomorrow night, live on the prelims from the Copper Box, Matchroom and DAZN YouTube channels. And concluding the prelims tomorrow will be 4 rounds in the featherweight division. Firstly, to the stage with a record of 7 wins, 18 defeats, 1 draw, fighting out of Lombardia, Italy. Please welcome Yuri Zanoli. And his opponent across the stage with a professional record of 1 fight, 1 victory, which of course came by way of stoppage. From Essex, please welcome the Hammer, Connor Mitchell. Fighters to the scales. $122.6 for Zanoli and 127.7 for Connor Mitchell. Fighters face off. 21-year-old Connor Mitchell back in action then tomorrow night. 2nd fight for him after winning in 2nd round stoppage style on the professional debut last year at the Indigo of the O2. Son, of course, of Kevin Mitchell. Yuri Zanoli comes into this on a healthy 5-fight winning streak. A tough test on paper so far at the early stage for Connor Mitchell. Said this week he wants to one day win a WBC world title, a belt his father came so close to winning. Put it on the dining room table and wink at him. How is that for father and son love in the Mitchell family? Look forward to seeing the journey of Connor Mitchell continue tomorrow night. And opening the live broadcast on DAZN from 7 p.m. is this one, 10 rounds a final eliminator for the English middleweight title. Firstly to the stage, with a record of 8 wins, only 2 defeats, 1 draw, from Doncaster, please welcome Jake Goodwin. And his opponent across the stage, 11 fights, 11 wins, 3 of them coming by way of knockout. From Newham, please welcome the Maltese monster, Lely Buttigieg. Fighters to the scales. $159.6 for Goodwin, $159.4 for Lely Buttigieg. Fighters face off. Both fighters then meet the 160-pound weight limit. Ahead of this, a final eliminator for the English middleweight title tomorrow night. Jake Goodwin, trained by Sean O'Hagan. Big opportunity for him, 8-2-1, southpaw. The first legitimate southpaw opponent for newly turned 21-year-old Lely Buttigieg. Since his debut, taken a tough road with tough matchmaking. This the first 10-rounder with title fights now on the horizon. Buttigieg versus Goodwin kicks off the DAZN broadcast from 7 p.m. tomorrow night. And both Lely Buttigieg and Jake Goodwin will have their eyes on the winner of this one, the first title fight of the night. Next to be made official then, 10 rounds for the English middleweight title. Firstly to the stage, with a record of 13 wins against 3 defeats, 3 of those wins coming by way of knockout. From Peckham, please welcome Derek Asazi. And his opponent across the stage, the professional record thus far perfect. 11 fights, 11 wins, 10 of those coming by way of knockout. From Brentwood, Essex, the reigning and defending English middleweight champion, Jimmy Sains. Fighters to the scales. $159.6 for Derek Asazi, $159.6 for Jimmy Sains. We have a fight. Fighters face off. As I say, once again then, as in the previous contest, both Sains and Asazi meet that middleweight 160-pound limit. First defence of the English title for Jimmy Sains. One of 3 belts he captured last year. Derek Asazi told us yesterday, not here to play any games, not here to be any gatekeeper or just another opponent. Here to rip that belt from Jimmy Sains, who himself looks to me a big statement here tomorrow night in front of a boisterous home crowd, having sold over 500 tickets himself. Sains versus Asazi. Tomorrow night live on DAZN, English middleweight title on the line. Over 10 rounds in that one. And that will lead us in nicely to the chief support tomorrow night. More English title action, 10 rounds for the English lightweight title. Firstly to the stage, with a record of 17 wins, only 2 defeats, 1 draw, 4 wins coming by way of knockout. From Grimsby, please welcome Levi Giles. And his opponent across the stage, his record thus far perfect, 10 fights, 10 wins, 6 of them coming by way of knockout. From Aldershot, the reigning and defending English lightweight champion, Giorgio Visioli. Fighters to the scales. $134.6 for Levi Giles, $134.9 for Giorgio Visioli. Fighters face off. Cracking fight this in the chief support. Giorgio headlined for the first time last year and won that English title against Joe Howarth. This another step up for him. Levi Giles up at lightweight, only 2 defeats against those 17 wins. Lost on a split to Michael Gomez Jr. in a fight some thought could have gone either way in 2023, then to Reece Bellotti over 12 in the summer of 2024 in a British title fight. Visioli targeting a big fight stateside with rising star Kermel Moton after their war of words has continued after sparring stories which differed in versions hit social media. But this is a real test for the 22-year-old who says he's levels above Levi Giles, your chief support, tomorrow night. And it's now time, of course, to welcome the main event to the stage. 12 rounds for the British, Commonwealth and IBF Intercontinental middleweight titles. Firstly to the stage, the challenger with a record of 21 wins, 3 defeats and 3 draws, the former European middleweight champion from Rowley Regis, West Midlands. Please welcome Tyler Denny. And his opponent across the stage, the defending champion with a perfect record. 13 fights, 13 wins, 8 of them coming by way of knockout from Billericay, Essex. The reigning and defending British and Commonwealth middleweight champion. Please welcome George Liddard. Fighters to the scales. $159.7 for the challenger, Tyler Denny. $159.7 also for the champion, George Liddard. Fighters face off. Here we go then, your main event tomorrow night, George Liddard, Tyler Denny, domestic supremacy at 160 pounds. Liddard full of confidence, full of charisma, and he's backed it up of late in the boxing ring. Tyler Denny, though, here to prove there's plenty left in the tank. He's beaten many unbeaten prospects before and often ripped up the script as the underdog. Can he do the same again tomorrow night? George Liddard, Tyler Denny from the Copper Box, your main event live, only on DAZN.
Someone put me on my ass. You're funny. Someone put me on my ass. Someone put me on my ass. You're funny. You got bad rap. Ain't no one putting me on my ass, bro. I'm personally asking. Fair play in here, though. If that spy story's in your head, my head would be gone if I was in. Fair play. Fair play. You ain't got to worry about me. Whatever, man. You got a bad mouth, man.
Tomorrow night, let me set in the build-up between these two. We're talking now over your main event for East London, the Copper Box tomorrow night. Love this fight. George Liddard's first defence of the domestic gold. British and Commonwealth middleweight titles on the line against Tyler Denny, the new kid on the block, the rising star, against the former European champion with a big point to prove tomorrow night. And of course, this is your main event here in London, a busy week of boxing on DAZN, a busy weekend to look forward to as well. Of course, the action here tomorrow night, George Liddard versus Tyler Denny from the Copper Box. And later on in the evening, sticking with the middleweight theme, the rescheduled clash between Carlos Adames and Amo Williams, WBC World Middleweight Championship on the line in that one. Just going to make my way to the stage and grab a quick word with promoter Eddie Hearn. I mean, Eddie, I've done a few gigs at Matchroom. How was the MC gig there?
Yeah, you got a bit of work to do. I mean, this is the problem with doing 2 shows around the world on one night. Diamante, he's over in Orlando. You did a great job, Jamie. Yeah, probably your last time, but congratulations.
That's right, I tried. One for the CV. Look, you're up here. What were they saying to each other?
Sparring stories. Sparring. You'll hear it because I'm mic'd up, and you'll hear it. It was part of the big social buzz and build-up. Tyler Denny accusing Liddard of being dropped in sparring. He's heard it from multiple people, and George had a laugh and a chuckle. Who knows what to believe? Didn't look like it from George's response, but Denny's confident, both in tremendous shape. You know, Denny's a great fighter. You've seen him with some notable victories, former European champion as well, and George Liddard right now on an incredible trajectory. British and Commonwealth champion, the IBF title, Intercontinental on the line as well to push him up the world rankings as well. It's a massive fight for him and a brilliant card, really well matched. This is the next generation of British fight stars coming through, and they're all in deep on Saturday night.
What do you think you could be looking at in terms of a potential future star in George Liddard right now?
Well, I mean, you know, to become the youngest ever British and Commonwealth middleweight champion and holder of those belts is a great achievement in itself. He did that in a tremendous fashion against a very good fighter in Kieran Conway. Denny is maybe a step above that. Let's see if he's capable of going to those levels as well. But like I said, he did that in style in this very building last year. And now he, you know, the way that Georgie's contract, a new contract, he's structured with us, he wants to be aggressive with the route that he's taking. I would love to see him win that Lord Lonsdale belt outright. I think it's a tremendous achievement for any fighter. But, you know, the likes of Liam Smith, even, you know, a couple of hours later than George, Ammo Williams against Carlos Adames for the WBC middleweight title. I mean, if Ammo was to pull it off, who's to say Ammo Williams against George Liddard can't even happen in 2026?
George has mentioned that fight.
Of course, he would. He would, you know, I think he'd like that fight. But a young man with his hands full tomorrow night, and that's the focus, to get through Tyler Denny on Saturday.
For Giorgio Vizioli, obviously after he headlined for the first time last year, a big step up against Levi Giles. What do you make of that matchup?
Great fight. I mean, you know, Levi Giles, we've had him on our shows before, 110%, doesn't stop, great engine, throws a lot of punches. I said earlier, Vizioli's become a little bit of a viral sensation. I think that's disrespectful to his performances in the ring, but a lot of people talking about Giorgio Vizioli. Now it starts to get a little bit real with guys that you're not just going to hit on the chin and they're going to go over. They're going to come and come again. And, you know, like in his last fight, Joe Howarth, they're preparing him for the championship fights that are inevitable for him, and a tough assignment tomorrow.
Do you like the Kermel Moten fight, all going well for him?
Yeah, I don't think Kirill Morton's going to be interested to take that fight. These guys, they'll come out with a number that just blows. We'll concentrate on what we're doing. If they want to fight, no problem. But the British route for these guys is so important. You're seeing it. George Liddard do it. Giorgio Vizioli should do it. Jimmy Sains, Layli Bussage. I mean, they're also on a potential collision course themselves, both in deep again tomorrow night. But like I said, these guys are the young generation coming through who could potentially be the next stars of British boxing, but they've got to go through these levels.
And when you look at the fighters as well on the prelims, building a solid supporting cast.
We have. I mean, look, our stable globally is phenomenal, but in terms of the young talent that we have globally, and particularly in this country, you're going to see some of the best of it tomorrow night. I mean, Louis Ward makes his professional debut, an outstanding amateur. I think Conor Mitchell's professional debut was one of the best debuts I've ever seen since I've worked in boxing. I'm so excited to watch him have fight number 2 tomorrow night. Of course, Adam Macker as well, all action, stepping up to 6 rounds for the first time, now finding his feet in the professional game. And Taylor Bevan just looks like an absolute monster. You know, you talk about British and Commonwealth champions, that's a guy who I think can go on at 168 and beyond and capture those belts and even more at world level.
What's your advice to young Louis Ward making his professional debut?
Just relax and enjoy it. You know, these are the moments that you'll remember forever. He's a quality operator. Great team around him, John Ryder and the team down at the Matchroom Gym. You know, I think he's an outstanding talent. But all of these guys have a golden opportunity. They have a clear path in front of them. The only thing that's going to get in their way is a lack of hard work or a lack of ability. And I don't think any of them have a danger in that respect. They're all good athletes, good men who are chasing their dreams to become world champion. They're going to get their chance to do it. And like I said, many of them have tough assignments on Saturday night. And that's what we want to see. If they're going to go on and be those stars, they need to get through these levels, but they're going to be pushed all the way.
Last couple, you've been on a brilliant journey with Austin Ammo Williams.
Yeah. What
would it mean to you, to Matchroom, to see him become world champion tomorrow?
Yeah, I mean, you know, the Ammo story is an incredible one because, as far as I'm concerned, he was out of the game, he was done. You know, I mean, myself, Kevin Rooney, Pete Berg, Sam Katowski, we had to literally drag him out of the deepest depths mentally. And to even come back to this position is a phenomenal achievement. But to do it and to have that resolve and having been through everything that he's been through, I kind of feel like he feels like this is easy, this part. You know, you just got to go and beat what is a very good world champion in Carlos Adames on Saturday night. It's not going to be easy. You might have to come from a couple of rounds behind. You might be frustrated with the switch hitting and the skills of Carlos Adames, but somehow you just got to find a way. You know, and you just can't be denied. This is it. And Kevin Cunningham said it really well in Orlando at the press conference yesterday. You've got to take it from the champion. You know, you can't go in there and fiddle around and start losing rounds. You've got to find a way to take the belt off that guy. And you talk about belts. The WBC World Middleweight Championship is one of the greatest belts in boxing. And to see Ammo come back and win that championship after everything he's been through would be an amazing moment, you know, for Matchroom, but of course for himself. So, you know, a big fight for him in the division, a big middleweight fight in London as well. What a bumper night. Just turn on the TV, you know, when the doors open at 5 p.m. and just sit there and watch, 8 hours, 9 hours of live boxing on the global home of boxing, DAZN.
And just finally, more announcements to be expected soon?
Plenty of announcements. I mean, you know, a lot of big names added to some upcoming cards. 3 or 4 show announcements on both sides of the Atlantic as well. Some new signings being announced next week as well. It's never been a better time for boxing, but enjoy tomorrow. It'll be great to watch.
Yep, lots to look forward to then here on DAZN. 5 p.m. Matchroom and DAZN YouTube channels for 4 fights on the prelims before we cross live. 7 p.m. for 4 fights on the main DAZN card, of course. Your main event, George Liddard defends the British and Commonwealth middleweight titles for the first time against Tyler Denny. Fear not, there will be an MC tomorrow, so that was probably the second and last time you'll ever hear me doing the intros. From myself, Jamie Ward, and from Eddie Hearn. We'll see you from the Copper Box tomorrow night.
I'm a man on a mission, and I will not let anyone stop me from getting what I'm going to get. I will not be denied.
George Liddard is the British and Commonwealth champion. Oh, baby!
There is not a man alive sitting opposite me that I don't believe that I can be. You know, I'm not here to play about. I'm here to step up. You know, he's a former European champion.
Blistering combination from Giorgio Vizioli.
English lightweight champion. Oh, big right. Getting the overhand right. Jimmy Sains, the English and Commonwealth silver champion.
That's a lovely left hook from Denny. Oh! Looking menacing.
Mentally, I'm unbreakable. Physically, I'm unbreakable. I'm going to get the job done by any means, but I want to do it in style. I genuinely struggle to see anyone at 160 surviving 12 rounds with me.
Just bring my belts, man. Bring my belts.
It's a scary place to be, sitting opposite me. I can promise you that.
Fight Night on DAZN, brought to you by That Prize Guy.
Hey, Toad, looking good.
Who is this? Yoshi. So some dinosaur just shows up and he's now part of the group. Cool.
The Super Mario Galaxy movie.
Oh, Yoshi's here. Yay.
The casino you love to hate, Mr. Q.
Don't miss the biggest nights in MMA.
We are now set. Bye!